about 8 o'clock. Good evening, please. I can't say no because the one's doing.
Good evening.
The first item on the agenda is to elect a chair of the planning.
I wish to submit that the chair of the planning committee should be Councillor Chapel.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominations? I duly declare myself elected. Sure. Hooray! To elect a deputy chair. But I always like to return favour.
How should I know this?
Well, I was going to suggest one of our new councillors.
Oh, well.
Well, that's all right. Well, they can do these then.
There's only me.
Would you like to take over?
If you like that,
No,
I'm telling
I
you,
bow to your
I'd be
authority.
delighted to tell you how to do this stuff.
I'm sure he knows.
No, I'm quite happy with the way it is at the moment, thank you.
So where are we going with this?
There appear to be no other nominations. I duly declare Councillor Neville Oakes elected as the deputy chair. The next item is to agree the terms of reference. Councillor Chasser, being eagle-eyed, has already spotted an issue because our terms of reference say that this committee should comprise not less than 7 councillors. There are, in fact,
Only 6.
only 6
Only
who have put their,
it's submitted, yeah.
who have put their names forward to be members of this
I
committee.
looked at it today.
So we're not legal.
Unless, of course, we alter the terms of reference.
Which we throw back to the chair.
It would seem sensible and expedient in the circumstances to recommend a change to the wording of the terms of reference. Whether one changes it to simply make it fit the facts and say not less than 6, because there happen to be 6 at the moment, or whether in fact you take out that it should be no more than 14 councillors, or simply express the fact that all members of the council are entitled to sit on the planning committee.
That would be my, that would be with my approval.
The question I suppose that would then arise would be the issue of quorum.
Okay.
Because if you have a committee of 14, quorum would be 5. And I think it's probably fair to say that there have been occasions when we might have struggled to have had 5 councillors of planning. Usually about that, but
I think there's
whereas-
been 4. I think there's been 4 on one occasion. Might be wrong.
No, not on the committee. I mean, we may have had only 4 turn
Yeah,
up.
Yes.
turn up, I mean.
that's my concern.
I mean, we could try and get another member of the committee. There are new councillors.
Well, that's certainly true. We could
And
point
the
out
point
that
hasn't been made to
Yeah,
the council that
absolutely.
this committee.
I think we
our
should.
terms of reference say it should be not less than 7, but there are only 6. Why don't we chuck it back at full?
I think we should take it back.
That's all right.
Well, we did have a conversation, well, more than a conversation, a discussion about this, because we were concerned that only a very few councillors were making quite big decisions. And we made a decision that if we had planning applications that we thought were significant, we would put it to full council. Now, I'm not quite sure how that fits in with this. I personally think that you don't want to have the whole council looking at every single planning application. So we do need a planning committee. But what you could do is say, we won't have a planning committee anymore. We'll just refer all these to full council. Now that would be ridiculous. So I'm really gritted teeth about this one.
Taking that point up, it occurs to me, here we were sitting earlier talking about the neighbourhood plan, and once that is an active part of our lives, effectively, we may have some quite weighty planning applications.
I'm bloody sure we are. I'm sure of that.
Inevitably, sooner or later, there are going to be some very large planning
Exactly.
Well, but they will go to full council because that was a principle that we established.
On the model that Councillor Oakes refers to, yes, it would. I suppose that equally that's not really covered by the terms of reference, one of which probably should be, to make reference to the fact that if this committee takes the view that it should be all council decisions, it will refer the planning application to full council.
But then we have to have something in about allowing for the fact that there will be occasions when 14 councillors attend. Because otherwise you'll have some applicants saying, well, you weren't abiding by your own rules when you had the committee. You know, we've got to be careful.
It's tricky.
Tricky.
One thing is clear, is arguably that this committee can't actually decide this issue because it's arguably a decision that the full council should take. What we probably ought to be doing is making some form of a recommendation. Now, one recommendation may be that to reflect what Councillor Oakes says, which is established, because it was established some time ago under Paul King, as I recall.
Yep.
And we talked about this sort of endless issue about do all councillors sit on it, and if not, when should they perhaps all be involved? And we came up with this idea. And so perhaps the terms of reference need to say that it's part of our role to do that. But more fundamentally, this issue that says that it should comprise no less than 7 and no more than 14 may require some additional thought.
Technically, it's a technical question, isn't it? Because it does affect
Well, we're never going to get
whether
14.
you're poor at all. No, we're never going to get full. Well,
I mean, in all fairness, even full council meetings, we don't get full.
But we don't get 14 at the moment, because we haven't got 14.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but even so, you know, so.
but there was a time, you see, well, if we had a full council meeting when we were 12, we would have 12 councillors.
Yep.
There was never any question about the
It's
people
much
not
rarer
being
for
here.
people not to come
Much rarer.
some time ago, for whatever reason.
So 12 would have been perfectly adequate to
Anyway, it seems to me that what we probably will have to do is make a recommendation to full council. First of all, that the terms are amended to cover this committee making a referral of a significant planning application
Yes.
to full council.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that we will ask full council to look again at what it says, not least because at the moment there aren't 7 members, and therefore either you tweak it to fit what we've got and make it no less consistent.
Is this a problem, sorry David to interject, is this a problem that on the other committees as well? Or is this going to be a problem that runs through the marketing committee and you know, is every committee under the same problem? Is it something we need to
I
discuss?
don't think that any other committee, and I'm saying this from memory, so I may be wrong, but I think this is the only one that actually says no less than. And I think it's because of this anomaly
Yeah.
that we wanted everybody to have the opportunity to be on it. Any councillor should have the opportunity to be involved with planning if they choose to. But we took a view that we should perhaps put in a minimum number Now maybe that's the problem, maybe there just shouldn't be a minimum number as such.
But then you'd have to have a quorum of 7.
But, you know, we did it. Councillor Oates.
Which is
Right.
even more difficult.
Look, I think this is, by and large, the council relies on the planning committee to decide on certain planning applications. And there are some that are like 95 houses being built towards the A605 and all that sort of stuff, where we probably need to involve as many people as we can on the council. Now, in a way, we're a kind of an advisory committee. In other words, we look at certain things, and if they're sort of fairly minimal, we can actually put our views to the authorities, because we're not the people who actually ultimately decide this, as you know. Of course we know. We just have a view. Now, so we're sort of a kind of an advisory committee in certain circumstances. I'm a bit exasperated by this. I've done this job now for 8 years, and you know we've done pretty well, really, in my opinion.
The only trouble, Councillor Oates, is it doesn't actually answer
No, it doesn't.
the question. I
No,
understand where you're going.
look, I'm
If
wondering.
you've got an answer to the question, fine, but I suspect if not, the only sensible thing we can do is refer this matter
Let's
back to
refer
full
it.
council.
Yes, absolutely. I was just,
The mayor last time.
Right.
Chairman, I was just about to say that. I don't think we can do anything other than
I
that.
think the mayor should.
I think it's a very good point.
I think we were okay last time because Councillor Sparks attended nearly every meeting as mayor.
Mm.
Should we not be saying maybe to the mayor? I know it's, you might
I
not
think
want
you
to,
ought to, you see, to
as
know
it's such
this
a big
and the
committee
business
making
is
such
doing.
big decisions.
Yeah.
On
Well,
occasion.
I will raise that with them now.
That would solve the problem, actually.
It would.
Because he's allowed to come to any meeting.
Exactly.
Because we didn't have an
It's
issue
a-
last time.
Very good point.
But it's instantly solved for the 7 as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
solves the problem.
It
straight
would
away.
rather solve the problem, so
Yep.
I will speak to the mayor about it.
Yeah, perfect.
Good
Yeah.
suggestion, Councillor Oates.
Right,
Right,
I'm
let's-
going with the big decisions as well, so carry on.
So we can't do that.
So,
Yeah, big
be as
decision.
far as
Well,
you
it-
can with it.
But on that point of the advisory thing, of course, the advice of this committee would be take the big decisions to the full council anyway.
Yeah.
So we, yes, that's
I'll
fine. That's
draft
the
it.
main
I'll
concern.
draft an
Same
appropriate
solution.
Yeah,
paragraph.
David
to
to
this reference.
redraft.
Well, we agreed that ages ago, Dave.
Yeah,
didn't
We did, but it just,
But it's not.
clear that it isn't actually reflected in
This
terms of
one.
No,
reference.
it's not in this document, so.
So it's time next week. Right, apologies for absence, I think Councillor Fuller, has he actually apologised or?
Not for the planning bit, but
It
if he has, I think usually they give it for the
I don't know.
neighbourhood
No,
plan
we've always said that there should be.
individual
It should be
meetings.
separate. But in any event, I don't think he gave his
He didn't
apologies for
for
the other
that
meeting
either.
either, so we can't accept them because they haven't been given, we'll just have to
Well,
note
it
Councillor
is-
Fuller's
it is-
absence.
It is a summons, it's not an invitation.
So that's that. Representations of interested parties, there certainly don't appear to be any, which brings us on to declarations of interest. I think we're all fairly familiar with the wording, so I shall simply say, has anybody got any disclosable pecuniary interests?
Well, the only thing may I say immediately, we've got to declare an interest in the Andal Bowling Club.
Yes, but I think that's another interest we'll
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I know, I agree, but I'm just saying that all of us have got to declare an interest in the Andal Bowling Club.
So no disclosable interests, other interests taken as read that as we own the land on which this planning application is made, we will declare another interest in it. We will actually look at this planning application as a planning application rather than as landlord when we get to it.
We will.
Any other interests from
I
anybody?
don't know what, I've left my papers on the
Behind you.
kitchen table.
Glance-
All there, neatly in a folder, that's what really would do.
Quick glance at
Have a
the
quick glance.
applications which
But you can always declare an interest if something comes up.
Yeah, we'll do it if it comes up.
Right, in that case that's that, in which case let's move swiftly on, swiftly as we can move this evening, to approve and sign the minutes for the meeting that was held in May.
I propose that we approve them.
Councillor Oakes was certainly there.
I can't see there's anything there to argue with at all.
All of us who was actually around this table were there on that occasion. Do I have a second?
I'll second them because I know I was there.
Councillor Oakes. All those in favour, please indicate.
Wolf.
It seems to be everybody. Just do the necessary. I think this is actually about £5.
It's mainly all the outcomes, because we put all the outcomes on there, so that I'm afraid it's lots of stuff to tell you the outcome.
There's a ton of stuff, but none of it. There's
We
none
just
of
note
it we
it,
can
don't we?
argue about,
Yeah.
really, to be honest.
Right, I think that brings on to the items before us this evening.
Can I just say, Lisa has done a sterling job on this, you know. She really has. You know, you've got to have credit where credit is due. And Lisa's done a blooming good job.
Thank you.
Happy to note it. So, hopefully, the first one you've got on your screen is 82 Benfield Road.
It is 62.
Oh, it was 62 Benfield Road.
Bit worried about 82. No, look, come on, we're in the trees again. So we've got, that's where it is, Benfield Road. That's a photo of the thing. I've put these notes in and says it's clearly oversized for its location, but it's maintenance and not felling. And I'm just putting a bit of frivolity in, just to, you know, because we should whip through this. Okay, a woman and a dog in a walnut tree. The more you beat them, the better they be. No,
Is that a normal?
this is no. I'm just look. Excuse me. I didn't write this. I just wanted to be. I just want to put a bit of amusement in. But I actually had personally a large walnut tree in the house I lived in earlier. But the problem actually was the squirrels used to collect them and bury them in my lawn. But people did used to beat trees, walnut trees, with chains in order to increase the yield. So there we go. I just put that in as a little bit of a flimsy.
Does that mean we should keep it as it is then?
I don't think.
I think if we follow our normal
Please don't note that. It was only put in as a bit of amusement.
I think if we just follow our normal
Right, Andor Bowles, here we go.
maintenance, not tree felling,
Yeah.
then we have no objection.
No, I mean, look, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
they do get very large and they do need trimming. And
Let us move on
Move
to
on,
the
then.
Bowling Club.
I'm moving on. I've moved on. There you go. Andor Bowling Club. There you go. Wallet. That's it. We've actually been through this once. I don't want to put anything else up about it. I think the only irritation is that they didn't consult us. But
As I say, I think if we look at this as a planning committee rather than as their landlord, we have already made certain observations to the tennis club and they have responded, and I think the clerk has sent us out some missives around that, and I think they were talking to estates. But in terms of a planning application, we're aware of what it is that they want to do. Given its location, it's not likely to impact upon anybody, or be particularly visually intrusive or anything else. I struggle to think of a single planning reason why one
I have to agree entirely.
Well, and from their point of view, it makes more sense of the internal
yeah, it
arrangement
makes
of the space.
it better for them. Which
They put in a bike rack now on the left hand side, if you can see. But you know and they've readjusted the bits and pieces. They possibly lost a little bit of land this way, but
There's certain, I mean, yeah,
I mean-
they've enhanced it, if anything, I think.
I
You know,
couldn't agree more.
it's-
They're trying to improve. They're trying to improve the facility.
Absolutely.
I'm simply going to record that as no objection.
Thank you.
Right, move on.
Kings Road.
Moving on. Right, next. Okay, two-storey extension. This is Mrs. Draper, who, well, anyway, some of us will know who she is. I always try to put up the people who put these in case people have to declare an interest. But that's where it is in Kings Road. I put the note out, and that little square you can see, red square, is more or less what they're going to do. Floor plans are this and that, and basically it's that. Don't know what else to say. It's I've got no, by the way, my usual caveat, I've got no knowledge of anybody who's moaned.
Yes.
It's just extending to the...
To the line of
They
the
just-
garages
They
anyway.
basically done a fill-in at the back.
Fill in.
Yeah.
That's all they've done,
It's
really.
not the only property on that estate that's had a similar
Oh,
sort of thing.
it certainly is not.
And again, I can't see any obvious
Yeah,
causes
No.
of concern.
No.
Unless
Yeah,
anyone's
quite a lot
spotted
of
something
land
I
at the
haven't.
None at all.
And the other thing, the other point I'd always make is that if people are upset about it, it's for them to put their objections in, not us.
Well,
On a planning front, I
if you-
simply cannot see any reason to object.
Okay.
I think that makes 3 no objections in a row. Which moves us on to Duck Lane.
Right.
Are there any applications?
Right. Anyway, these are the elevations, by the way, of that particular one, which it's a bit difficult to actually get your head around it, but to be honest, it's not even worth it. Right, move on. Now, Duck Lane. Now, this is a bit of a nightmare, really. This is what is known as the Berriston Wedge. Now, this is basically Angle School, and basically it was originally used as staff places, for staff to live in, but they now want to fiddle around with it a bit, and there's an awful lot of documentation related to this, but I'd like to try and keep it simple. Berriston is very important because it is one of our Grade 1 listed buildings. So it's not even a Grade 2. And this is, a part of it in a way. But, no, there's an awful lot of documentation on this one. But all the school are trying to do is just to do a bit of a revamp and try to make it so that it's available for a different use for pupils. But I could put a ton of stuff up on there about this, but I'm trying to keep this simple. I don't think, personally,
No, there's no objections there.
I mean, honestly, I looked at it. I mean, the outside is hardly going to be changed. They're doing an awful lot of, they're doing quite a lot of alteration to the interior, simply to make it more suitable for revised use. And that's it.
It's the same, pretty much the same footprint.
Absolutely.
It's exactly the same.
No.
I mean, this is once again one of those things now, well, they've actually, the scaffolding's already up, they're already doing
Oh,
work
yeah,
anyway.
watched it every
So-
day.
Oh, crikey.
Actually,
Well-
Are we looking at a retrospective then?
Yes,
To the extent that it is, we have already adopted a policy last month of having a sort of form of words to apply to every retrospective situation. It seems to me that this is a classic case where there is nothing, I dare say, obvious to us as a reason to be worried. But given the internal nature of some of the works and the importance of the building, this is clearly one where we will have to defer to the views of the Conservation Officer.
I agree.
Who has concerns about what is proposed.
Is there a listing
But I don't see anything.
plan as well? Is it, have they put in for listed or not?
Yes, this is.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's listed.
In front of me.
Yeah, it is listed.
But I agree.
There's a detailed schedule of works.
I agree entirely with Councillor Chapel. I think this is one way you go. We don't really have any objection, subject to the Conservation Officer's views.
There's enough laws in place in the schedules of works.
Absolutely.
So it's, yeah.
And what, look, I've had to trawl through, I think it's 37 documents on this one, something like that. Or maybe not, I can't remember. But the point is that Arnold School, by and large, do adhere to, you know, the shall I call it the virtue of what is there, and they don't tend to, you know, try and do anything sort of like revolutionary. So they're going to preserve its fabrication, its vernacular. I don't know what else to say really. I think your observation, Councillor Chapel, is absolutely right. We just say, hello Lloyd, what do you think about this?
Does anybody demur from that view? No. In that case,
Go for it.
we'll note that they appear to have started some work, so it seems to be retrospective, so we'll apply the usual retrospective bit, and we'll make the point about
Are we going to put in our usual thing about saying we don't like retrospective?
We have a whole paragraph now that we say that we're going to use. So, right, let's move
We'll
on.
chuck that in as well then.
More
Jolly good.
trees.
More
Oh,
trees.
Let's try an old
trees.
school avenue.
We love trees. Now, the only thing I'd say about this is we're back to Old School Avenue again. Now, this is obviously part of the new development, and I think when the original planning application went in, and this goes back a while, the idea was to try to ensure that we preserved the trees and bits and pieces. But now we've had, I think this is the fourth application to fiddle about with trees. But this is a simple one. Thin canopy, remove deadwood, remove or reduce lower laterals. So we're not looking at tree felling. So to my mind, it's quite simple. We have no objection subject to the tree.
Yes, I think although this is tree maintenance, because, as Councillor Oates rightly points out, these trees were a rather sensitive area to the original
They were
planning
certainly
application.
part
Absolutely.
of the original.
Absolutely.
And although it is only tree maintenance, and although it seems highly unlikely the tree
But
officer
they
will
may
have any
just have an
concerns,
accident with the soil.
it may be worth just
That's my
flagging
view,
up.
is that that's what they're after doing. Cause they
But this is
well, because they keep on putting in.
that's the fourth one we've had in that area. That's the
I mean, I
fourth one.
suppose to be fair to them, as they develop and come across trees and notice that there may be issues with individual
No,
branches or height. Just in the interests of balance. Anyway, so I think we will
Forgive me,
say
you're
no
too
objection.
kind.
So what's the summary?
So it's no objection, subject to any contrary view of the tree officer.
Well, and also that we should be reminding them that they were part of the original plan.
Which is why, as I've
which
said-
is that they would be preserved.
So, all right, so no objection subject to any view of the tree officer in view of the fact that, which I sort of spelled out earlier, but we'll actually make it part of the written
Yeah.
thing, so in view of the fact that the conservation of these trees was regarded as integral to the original plan.
Exactly.
And
Right,
the
move on.
new tree officer,
Have you got
Henry
that?
Pearson, who is later in the blurb, needs to be made aware of that.
Yes.
Because he's new to post, and
Yeah.
he's probably not going to be aware of some of these things, especially about the shenanigans. Well, I'm completely with you, Councillor Cheshire, on that. There's probably a whole lot of let's slip with the saw this time and it'll gradually kill the tree off.
Yeah.
So there's an element of that in there. I'm sorry to say.
Well, he will
Cynic
acquaint
that I am.
himself with the history, but we can flag it up, and
I can-
I'm sure he won't ignore it.
Look, I'm not going to bore people with this, but obviously we had a big issue with the true line access from Ashton Road, where, you know, an awful lot of trees had to be, well, felled, trimmed and all sorts of things in order for them to build the road that went up there. So, you know, it's just another matter. I mean, some people obviously, you know, well, think that trees are more important than buildings, you know, but there we go.
I think they both have their place.
They do.
Let us move on to Fairline.
By the way, that's what it is.
No business park.
Just to have a look, that is
That's the tree.
the Pinus nigra marilama,
Maritima.
and it can reach a height of 35 metres, which is
Sounds very true.
very, very high. But that's the sort of thing they're trying to, you know, to deal with. All right, okay, next. I pulled up things. This is an absolute no-brainer. We've looked at this before, actually. I did a planning application for this thing before. You can see where Fairline is, I hope, with the red, you know, it's surrounded, and that's what they're trying to do. It's on the industrial estate. Is it a big issue?
I would venture to suggest the answer to that has to be no, unless anybody can come up with a convincing reason to suggest otherwise.
No.
This
No,
this
no,
doesn't
fine.
seem to me
Perfect.
to be a matter that need trouble us any longer.
No.
Might smart it up.
Thank you. Right.
Right.
By the way, that's the design and access statement, which I popped up, but you don't need to read it as you've already decided, so we can shift quickly to the next one.
Auction news.
Now, this is a strange one to me. I haven't been able to get my head around this, but the fact is that it's just to do with removing overhangs. So, again, it's a tree issue. I don't understand this. I don't know who Henry Pearson is.
He's the new tree officer at...
Is he the new guy, is he? Oh, right, okay, I'll have to get to know him. I just think this is another one which is just subject to the tree officer.
Is there a TPO on the street then?
Yeah.
Well, if Henry's going
It's
to
a
see it,
TCA,
then he's going to be...
it's in the conservation area, a tree in the conservation area, but it effectively has a TPO on it.
Well, it seems sensible, bearing in mind that the tree officer has, as it were, been flagged up to us anyway. Let's just say no objection subject to that view, because it is, on the face of it, it appears to be a conservation maintenance issue for the trees.
Well, it does say Andrew Stone from the Tree Service is going to meet him there
Yeah.
to actually... So if he has an objection, he'll say, no, you're not cutting that off.
Exactly.
And that'll be the end of it.
So, no objection subject to views of the tree officer, which I think takes us into...
We probably actually think Lisa should probably put that as a sort of a standard statement
It is,
Well,
copy and paste
on the
it.
tree applications.
It's not departing from our standards of policy that's set out in our...
Of course not. But I mean, I honestly couldn't get my head around this one, and I did actually go up there to try and take a photograph to find out what the problem was. But one of the principles I have is I don't take photographs when I'm standing on private property. I will do if I'm standing on the highway, but not on private property, and unless I have the permission of the people who own the premises. Right, okay. 25 Clifton Drive, this is another, frankly, a drive-through. There it is. The proposal is basically to do that. And by the way, again, with my usual caveat, I am not aware of anybody.
Clifton Drive.
You
That's
may,
right.
I know this person, Erica Grubb, Volunteer Action. We
Oh,
all
well,
know
so
each
do
other.
I.
Yeah,
We all
do.
know the Grubbs. Well, Erica. Just to throw that in.
Can you put up what,
Oh,
what
not-
they're doing
not
again?
well, but
No, well,
Yes.
Yeah, I
plan.
think which one would you
Plan.
say?
the next
Oh,
one.
Well, next one,
I think.
Another
Yeah,
interest.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm an employer.
Basically, what they're
Yeah,
doing
they're
is
just doing that. Yeah.
they're just doing an infill. I mean, it's so minor, it's
Yeah.
almost unbelievable.
Well, one of the things we usually object to is, you know, are they going to change the garage into so they have to park in the streets? But I mean, that's not
They're not-
that affects any of it. So.
It doesn't affect parking, it doesn't affect anything really.
The only issue, and I'm just struggling at the moment to picture the properties on Clifton Drive well enough. But as far as I can recollect, they are a pretty uniform frontage. And if that's right, and then you have a property that starts to put anything in front so that it slightly alters the building line relative to the other properties, there may be a bit of a street scene issue, but I can't honestly remember
Not
well
down
enough.
there, not
They're
down
not
there.
all the same. Well, I must speak, because I'm an employer.
I didn't think they were all the
But they're
same.
not all the same.
No.
They're all
Right,
very
that's the
different.
thing that I'm trying to remember, whether
Yeah.
there are
I mean, there's even
Well,
front
bungalows.
extensions.
You're actually probably right, David, insofar as that's a bay window that they're taking out.
Mhm.
So that must mean that's part of the vernacular of that street,
It is.
where they've all got bay windows in as probably all part of the original design. No? I mean, you know, is it single? It's single story. Is it? Presumably
I was
just
there
the
on
front of it, or
Saturday
is it
and I
all the way
can't
up,
Yeah,
whole front?
Should
Yeah.
take a look at it. You don't have a photograph of it.
no, I look again.
I mean, that's probably you're probably right, and that's the only point that it sets precedent for. You know, the rest of the street. Maybe I don't know, but
We
that's the
can
only
see from
objection
the
you
shape
have.
of the properties.
They're all different.
No two the same.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah.
But they are.
I mean, I know that street perfectly well, and yet I
They're
can only
all
get an overall
The properties down there are higgledy-piggledy. They're not. They just look. All you got to do is look at the plan and realise that they're this and that.
I don't think it's even going to make any difference down Clifton Drive. I mean, it's one of those places that no one ever goes there anyway.
The only
Yeah.
other thing I'd say is
On Google Earth, that's Clifton Drive, and I think that one's Erica's there.
Yeah. No, it's not going to do
So
anything,
they're
is it?
all, they
Yeah,
are
they're all
all,
different.
but that's in like an L shape.
Yeah,
I was
so
there on
You
Saturday.
can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plans are-
Yeah.
That's Google Earth. I think that one's Erica's. So you've got the bungalow there, or it might be a house. They're all quite different shapes.
Yeah. No objections.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
And the biggish plots.
I love
Yeah.
Google Earth.
The
It's
miracles
amazing.
and they are.
have now provided me with that image of Clifton Drive that is sadly
Well,
lacking
that leaves
in my
it.
mind. And
It
it
was the
now persuades
confidence with which you made the complete.
It now persuades me that Councillor Chester was, of course, entirely correct in his observation, and my memory is playing tricks with me. So I withdraw entirely the suggestion that we should have any worries about the street scene, because it seems to be pretty obvious we can't. And on that basis, I think it does become a bit more difficult to think of any reason why there could or should be any kind of objection. So, do I take it there is none?
Not from me.
No objection.
No objection to record, which I think is the last of the applications on our list.
That's it. The end.
Thank you, Councillor X. We've got a whole list of planning outcomes, which you've had a chance to look through, so I'm not sure that I want to dwell on them, because it's, as it were, it's all down there. There's West Street, which we may recall. There was Road property as well, where I think we had some observations, and also East Road, but it's all
That's all been sorted out.
recorded in there. Planning appeals, there aren't any. Now, any other matters to report? Lisa, did you circulate that email with the ENC planning stuff to everybody, or did it just come to me?
Which one was that?
The one that has all the stuff about the sports hall and Norton Road.
Was that? I think that was Emma that sent that to you, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
Right. I got sent an email today with a 60 to 70 page document, which was in fact from the NC Planning Committee. Or at least it was, I think, the report of the planning officers to the planning committee, which includes a report with regard to the sports hall at Norton Road, where you will recall we made some observations about the need for things like a proper construction plan and conditions about when it should and shouldn't have construction work, etc. And it has to be said, they've done a very detailed job on that, and all those sort of things are in there as recommendations for a whole string of conditions. I observed to Lisa earlier that, assuming that in due course that planning application is granted with all those conditions on it, it's the very sort of application you need to have a copy of those conditions in the office, because I bet my bottom dollar that sooner rather than later a resident will come along and complain that the developer is operating outside of the conditions that were imposed on the planning permission as regards working hours or days or whatever else it is. But it is quite a comprehensive document, or part of that document. So if anybody's interested, it's there to read. The other thing that might just be worth mentioning at this stage, because I suspect I won't mention it somebody else will, but there's been a lot of email traffic about a site which is technically, it seems to be not in our parish, the PGR site on Barnwell Road. Although it's not technically in the parish, it clearly impacts upon the parish because it's on one of the routes into Oundle, and it seems to have generated a certain amount of heat, shall we say, with concern about what has or hasn't happened. And I just wondered if councillors wanted to express any views that would be recorded within our minute.
I don't know what's happened.
Councillor Robinson drew to our attention the fact that essentially a large number of trees were felled.
PGR site?
Yeah.
It's on the 605.
It's on the 605.
Yes.
It's in Barnwell Road, and I'm thinking,
They've cut the trees.
They cut the trees on the verge.
And the greenery.
yes,
Yes.
it's on 605.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, I was somewhere
Yes, sorry. I'm sending you off the wrong way.
struggling with trying to...
Have a good evening.
605.
Yes, so the 605,
Yes, absolutely.
absolutely would. For the record.
Why have you done it?
Yes, it's very notable.
So some of it is in fact on not, although it's highways, some of it is in fact on their planning side. It's not all of that border is not all highways, if you see what I mean, which Councillor Robinson since found out, and so it beggars the thing once again that the plan they've ignored planning. They've taken their own decisions, cut down all the trees, because once the tree's cut down, it's cut down. And so I feel quite strongly in the same way as several other councillors do, that we should tell them you can't do things because it suits you. It has to go through a process, or else there's no point in having any planning applications about anything, because it's obviously PGR have just said, oh, we don't want them there, and they've cut them down.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Makes a nonsense of
of planning.
of planning. Got to do with it.
Councillor Oates.
I think the real difficulty with this is that it looks like, and I don't know if this is accurate because I don't know, that actually NCC carried out the felling. Now, that puts us in a really strange position. It's alluded to be that PGR carried out this work in a way, but I don't know if they did.
Well, it doesn't matter who did it, the fact is that it's been done.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, the way I look at it is that, you know, are we going to go do a Sherlock Holmes on this and try and find out who the culprit is? Or do we just say, look, do some replanting? Because they're gone now. They won't suddenly spring up overnight. You know. Now the other thing you've got to look at is its geographical position with respect to a certain site that could have some houses built on it. Now, I'm not going to name the person, but somebody who lives near there is going to be quite concerned about construction traffic. I've really tried to get my head around this. There could be some houses built on a field that's there, which is below St Christopher's Drive. I don't quite understand the purpose of removing these trees, personally. But there is some kind of purpose for it, too. The other thing you've got to consider is, are we being recorded?
We are
Right.
recorded.
All right, okay.
So you might want to be
I
careful
would,
about
I would like to be very careful about what I might say, so I won't say it. If you look at the general outlay of that area, you can see some kind of logic for the removal of those trees, and it's now got, for me, too terribly complicated. I leave it at that.
Well, it seems to me...
I don't think we do anything else than say that we're very unhappy about this and put in a replanting scheme. I can't see
we
it
can
doing
go
anything
as far
else.
as that, but what we could arguably do is this. If, as a committee, we are concerned about the impact of the work that's been done, we could, I suppose, for starters, go to ENC Planning, ask them whether those works would have required any permission, and if so, was it sought? And if it should have been sought and wasn't, would they use their powers to require replacement of those trees? After all, there is a precedent close to home. We were talking about it only, if it wasn't the last meeting, it was the meeting before, with the site in Latham Road, where there were issues around a hedge that disappeared and a requirement that it had to be put back and so on. So it's something we're familiar with, but it seems to me that if ENC take the view that it wasn't a planning issue for them, then it's probably the end of it. But I would say that it might be that we would want to raise that issue with ENC Planning and see where it takes us.
Okay, I understand that. I think the point I'm trying to make is that we don't know who actually paid the contractors.
I appreciate that,
Who-
and that's why
who
perhaps,
did
That's
it?
what you're trying to address.
in a sense,
I
if
love-
ENC say it isn't a planning issue for us, then it doesn't actually matter who's done it. If they think it is an issue, well, ultimately it's the landowner's problem.
Yep.
regardless, as it were, of who carried out the work. If somebody carried out work on your land that you didn't authorise, well, I can see some civil litigation ensuing at the end of the day, particularly if it leads you into a planning problem.
But the point is, Councillor Robinson talks about PGR. No, PGR don't own a great deal of that bit of land. They don't, because it's part of highways. And that's where it gets very, very, very complicated.
Well,
That goes back to
it takes me back to my point about finding out from the NC.
Yeah.
And if we got an answer, for the sake of argument, from the NC that said, essentially, as a planning department, we're not concerned by what's happened, or we don't propose to do anything about it, and we still have a concern, there's nothing to stop us then raising it with NCC Highways as a secondary issue, I suppose. But if we needed a recommendation, as it were, my recommendation would be that we actually approach the NC planning. We are seen to be doing something, because there was concern, especially from councillors.
Well, Sue Scott apparently has been
seen around this table about it. We don't know the full facts, but we could perhaps initiate some inquiries that might assist us.
Well, Councillor Humphries has just mentioned Sue Scott. She's the enforcement officer. She's the person to go to.
Well, she's actually she's on the case. I'm reading the email traffic from that, and it says PGR's planning commission people are going to contact her, but they haven't as yet got in touch. So it's ongoing. So I agree. I think
we can give it a push in the right direction.
Yes.
I think so.
By making it formal.
I'm very happy that we show our concern that this was carried out. The fact is, there's nothing much we can do about it now.
well, they will regenerate as long as they don't kill off what's left.
I think the principle also needs to be established. If something has been done which should not have been done, then people need to be brought to book by those who have the authority to do it. This council doesn't.
Absolutely.
Whilst I'm still speaking, one last observation. This committee did invite Paul Bland, the head of planning at ENC, to come and address us. We did it some time ago, and we've never actually succeeded in getting him into the building until this evening, when he appeared
after the
for
meeting
the
started,
neighbourhood plan meeting that preceded this one, and then rather sadly from our point of view left immediately after that neighbourhood planning meeting had finished at around about 22:08 and didn't stay on, as he could clearly on the face of it have done. So it's a little disappointing that we've still not had the opportunity to engage with him in the way that we had hoped we might. And I suppose we may still wish to renew our invitation to him to come and talk to us.
Well, I think we write another letter. Turn the thing off.
I'm sure you can.
I suspect that maybe we should be issuing a reminder invitation and sending a copy to the Chief Executive.
Good, yeah. I think at this stage we could send it as a reminder without actually making the observation that he was actually present 15 minutes before this meeting was due to start and still wasn't, for whatever reason, able to stay. Maybe a perfectly good reason, I don't know. I didn't have the opportunity to go and speak to him about it because he'd gone before I could have done anything. However, it is disappointing that we didn't have that opportunity, and we shall renew our invitation to him and see what happens. At which point, I think I have finally finished the points I wanted to make, so I'll quickly nip round the table, Councillor Oakes.
Auto. Right. Station Road. Is this a planning matter? Is it estates? What is it?
Highways.
What particular issue about Station Road are we talking about?
Well, closing it.
Well, it's certainly not an estates matter.
No.
It's either this committee or it's full council.
It's got to be full council, I think.
But it seems to me that it's of such town-wide concern that I think all issues of this nature should be discussed in full council.
Well, we've got some questions that have been put. I tried not to add to them, but I could add about another 37, I think, of issues I have about the closure and what it might entail. The idea originally was to have a meeting prior to the 7th of June so that we could, you know, get our act together, as it were. But now I think, I said that we need an urgent meeting after the 7th of June because it's Heather Smith's meeting, it's not ours. She's merely using Fletton to, you know, discuss this matter. And I'm of a personal opinion that I don't want to be combative about this. We want a decent solution, but we're going to have some problems with traffic, pedestrian, well, maybe pedestrians as well, traffic going in and out of our main arterial road to the town. Now, Southbridge was bad enough, but that was, you know, trifling compared to the effect that this thing might have. We don't know what is entailed until we have this meeting on the 7th of July. June, sorry. We don't know what's going to be, what will happen. I mean, they might decide to shut the thing entirely. Now that would mean all sorts of issues. You know, people being routed via Barnwell and Southbridge, and you know, you just take a deep breath. I've had a jolly good look at traffic access from the Peterborough side of things, and that's a nightmare. Tens are, you know, you just shake your head and go, oh crikey. But the trouble is, until we have this meeting, and until we know what they propose to do, we haven't got a clue what the impact's going to be. Not a clue. Now, one of the things is, they say they've got structural issues. Now, how do they propose to repair them? Are we going to put steel girders in there?
Can I interrupt for a moment? I know we all share those concerns, but I am a little bit worried about raising this as an other matter to report in the middle of a planning meeting, when frankly, as I say, as a committee we don't have any power to do anything specifically on this issue, because it's an issue that's been driven from within the town council side. I'm inclined to say that once we know what is said, I don't think we can really get involved in a debate or a discussion about it at this point, and in any event that meeting is 2 days away.
Can I just say that I disagree? I'm just saying that these are the issues that are hanging there. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And I'm saying that the original idea was to have a meeting prior, put questions to Heather Smith, and then we have the meeting on the 7th. I'm saying the most important thing is to actually have an urgent meeting after the 7th when we have a reasonable understanding about what is involved. That is all I'm really saying.
You want that to be a recommendation from this committee to full council? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well,
because if it is, then we need to take a vote on whether that's what people think.
I don't think it's a matter for this
But I'm not-
committee. I don't think it's
I'm not
a
sure we
matter
can
for
do
this
it in this
process.
way,
We
really.
can't do it.
Yeah, just as a point, I mean, I think there is an element of, without, I understand exactly where you're coming from, Neville, but there is an element of catastrophising, I suppose,
Absolutely.
insofar as we don't know what the plan is. They might have
Exactly.
written, they might have looked at there, so we can't comment on it until the meeting, after the meeting anyway.
I
Because they
agree.
might have turned around and said, yeah, no, it's bonkers, we're not going to do it, or we're going to do it in a completely different way. So,
I think in reality this is going to be a matter that is debated at the next full council meeting, and if that says we need an urgent
I'm happy
meeting
with that.
after that, then we'll have an urgent meeting after that.
And the bridge isn't going to fall down tomorrow.
Good time, hopefully. Not.
Okay.
No.
That's obvious.
No, I just wondered, because I've not seen anything about Brew Baboo. Do you remember the tables?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
no, it didn't require planning, but it requires a permit from Highways, which I was copied into, my email was copied to both of the people that dealt with it, and Highways have come back and said their permit is due, which they haven't applied for yet, so they're going to chase it.
That's fine.
Because it's not a
Because
permanent
I raised
fixture.
it. I raised
You
it.
did, and I must admit, it had slipped my mind, because it kind of copied me to all of the email traffic, which I should have mentioned earlier. and
No, it's
forgot.
fine, it's fine. It hasn't been passed
But we've
to
done
me.
it anyway, so,
Yeah.
so we're up to speed
That's
with
fine.
that, and the issue is being dealt with by those who need to deal with it.
Good.
Nothing
I'm
else.
suggesting nothing, in which case, I think it's exactly an hour after we started, we would have finished. Thank you very much.
Okay.